Hello and welcome to week 2 of the Orgasmic Queen. It's Eugenia O'Liberty and incredible CAD. And welcome to this amazing 4-week online course where we discuss and share with you our knowledge on female sexuality. So just a quick introduction. My name is Eugenia O'Liberty and I am an international pleasure and intimacy coach. I specialize in desire and asking for what you want. It's my favorite thing in the world. I'm co-founder of Academy of Conscious Sexuality with this incredible man and other incredible people. And also Pleasure Conversations and Orgasmic Queen, of course. And we are here today going to discuss boundaries. But before that, I will let Sia introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm CAD, and I'm a sacred sexuality coach and founder of lovemaking.com. I also run retreats and workshops around the world, which we discussing to have a retreat in a few months' time. And you're all going to be invited to that as well. And I've also written 7 Principles to Master the Art of Sex, and it's available on Amazon.com, .uk or .com. And I'm very excited. And boundaries and communication is actually my favorite topic to discuss, because I mainly work with women, and I do a lot of body work, and I deal with a lot of traumas with women. And the more I go into this world, the more I realize the importance of boundaries and how to communicate them. And and today is going to be mainly dedicated to understanding our roles and understanding about our boundaries and where we stand in relation to our lovers or other people. Because the topic that we're going to cover today, it's not necessarily about, it's not only related to intimacy, it's related to every aspect of our lives. Because when we think about our intimacy, it's just a macrocosm of a bigger picture. And especially when it comes to boundaries, it's super important. In sexual dynamics, not knowing boundaries can be very traumatic. But again, in any aspect of our lives can create trauma and frustration. So knowing about these is very, very important. And the topic today is so beautiful, and it's one of my favorites.
It's incredible. And definitely importance of boundaries make you feel left like invalidated, like where you're like not important, even like diminished in many ways. And I know that it happened in my life very, very much before I've learned to say my yes and my no's. So see, a master of teaching boundaries, and I have never met anybody who teaches boundaries better than he does. So ladies, you are in for a treat. So mainly Sia going to be presenting today. If I have anything to add, I'm going to add that as we go. And we're going to be like really trying to be on time today. So we're going to be here for next hour, and then 15-20 minutes questions and answers. So if you have got any questions saved, maybe not save them, even if you type them in, we can come back to them, so you wouldn't forget, right? And say, do you need anything before we start, or you ready to dive in?
Okay. I just want to invite whoever is watching, whoever is live with us, and whoever is watching the recorded video, just take few moments, and I invite you to close your eyes and then have a few deep breaths and exhale with start breathing. One more time, breathing. And I invite you to just like maybe sit up a little bit and shake your body, because we want to be really present with the topic of today's class. So
Mm.
it's very good for us to let go of anything that doesn't serve us at this moment. If you had any stories, or what happened yesterday, or what's going to happen tonight, or later today, or tomorrow, how was the weekend, all that, just none of that would serve any of us in this moment right now. So shake it off, and one more deep breath, and with the intention of, as you breathe in, bring in focus and openness, and as you exhale, get rid of all the negativity and things that don't serve you at this moment. So breathe in. Ah. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So if you please bring the PDF, Eugenia, as you're the host.
Sure. So here is, oh, let me share my screen with you. That would probably help. Okay. Share the screen. Also, I would like to congratulate all the mothers. It's a Mother's Day in England. So happy Mother's Day to all beautiful mothers and their mothers and the mothers of their mothers and the future mothers.
All the way to Eve.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, happy Mother's Day. Right, so here we are, ready to rock and roll. So today's session, boundaries.
Okay, one of the most important and somehow uncommon things to hear is that actually boundaries give freedom. Why is that the case? Because boundaries is something a lot of people think that is limit us, but boundaries is actually something that gives us a lot of choice, and the right choice. And that's what we want. We want everything to be right, and we want everything to be in a way that we feel safe and comfortable. So when we know about other people's boundaries, and when we can express our boundaries, then we are, at least if our partners or people around us are willing to respect our boundaries, then we can feel safe. And within the boundaries that we set, we are free to basically do anything we want. We can also think about boundaries as a fence. Imagine there is a playground, and this playground is on the edge of a cliff, and we have all these fence around this playground. And we might look at it as, oh, what is a fence around? But because this fence allow us to know where we are meant to be playing. If there was no fence, people would just go carried away and fall off the cliff and probably turn into tomato paste. So we don't want that. We want to be able to feel, okay, now even if if my eyes are closed, if I hit the fence, I know, oh, this is the edge. So within this area, we are free to play. We are free to do whatever that we want to do, because again, the most important aspect of our sexuality, for us to be able to fully enjoy and experience loads of pleasure, we need to feel mentally and physically and of course emotionally relaxed and at ease. Because if we feel, oh, there is something going on, or I'm not sure what is happening, then our mind or our body is going to be on defense, and our guard's going to be up. And as long as we have our guards up, because we are not sure, we are maybe anticipating, and anticipation can be really a great turn on, but not when it comes to something that we don't like. So when we are creating this perfect picture of what I don't want and what do I want comes next week. This week is about what I don't want. What is my limit? What puts me on the edge that I don't really want to face that. So when we're expressing this, and of course our partner expresses his or her boundaries to us, then we don't have to worry about, oh my God, am I doing something that he or she doesn't like? Should I just surrender and let go and really trust this person? As long as there's no clear boundaries, then that relaxation cannot come. And that's one of the most elements of an amazing sexual experience or life in general.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything, Eugenia?
Yeah. So self-love is the form of self-care. And like they talk about discipline, they talk about boundaries. It's like boundary is a limitation, but boundary is not a limitation. Boundary is invitation for you to know where do you not willing to go, what are you not comfortable with. So how is it self-care? It's like you care for yourself enough to say no to things that do not give you pleasure, that do not serve you, that do not make you feel good. So it's very important to remember. This great thing that Sia teach me also is, if you look on your arm, is there is no for other people, but there is yes for yourself on this side of your arm, and it's very on your hand, and it's very important to imagine, and not only imagine but say how you feel, because we are raised in society where we like raised to be polite. It's like, oh, but you have to help people. Oh, but you have to be a good woman and say yes to your man, even when you don't think that it's a good idea. And this is where lots of traumas actually been born. That we say yes to things when we go into those experiences really not wanting to, really thinking that we do not have any other choice. But what happens, we always have a choice. We always have a choice to say yes or a no. It's your birthright. There is no situation in life where you cannot say no to something that you don't want to do. You can say no, and it doesn't mean that it's no forever. It's no for that particular moment. So maybe Sia gonna ask me today, it's like, oh, give me £1 million, and I'm gonna say no. And he gonna ask me tomorrow, hey, give me £1 million, and I'm gonna say, oh, do you know what? Okay. Yes. So yeah, your no means no for that particular time, and you can change your mind anytime when you feel comfortable with that.
Yes, and it just as we are here is I guess form of self-care, because a lot of people think about like, oh, ego is really bad. Well, no, ego is not necessarily bad. The reason when you're hungry you put the food in your mouth, not into your person's next to you's mouth, is because you're here in this physical form to look after this. Your survival is the most important, valuable thing to do. So when you are saying no to things that you don't want, then you're looking after yourself. And this is the first thing that they teach us when we want to fly with the airplane. If in the case of emergency, put the mask on your face first, look after yourself first, then look after others. And this is very, very important, because we will cover in the following pages. Sometimes someone asks something from you and you're like, oh, okay. And if you are not able to say no, then in that moment, basically your yeses means nothing. So if practice this, like if you every time you say no to someone, yes, as Eugenia said, is you're doing yourself a favor. You're empowering yourself, because you're not allowing yourself to be this person. Because if you do that, then you're going to feel resentful. You're going to feel like someone is taking advantage of you, whether at the basis of that is your own fault for not being able to say no. And I understand it's not easy to say no all the time, because we are worried about, like, people are going to get upset if we're going to say no to them, but that's not your problem. That's their issues. And it's one of the things that when I coach people, and we go really deep into this, is that I use this example, and it's a very kind of graphic example. Not graphic, but it's maybe a little bit graphic. I was at my work. It was a couple of years ago, and I was really getting into boundaries. And I was a personal trainer at the time, and had 4 or 5 sessions in a row, and had not half an hour break, and I had 5 sessions in a row again, back to back. So I was so hungry, and I had to leave to get some food. And as I was walking out of the gym, a girl at the reception, she goes, "Sia, can you please wait at the reception? I need to get something to do." And I was like, "I'm really sorry, I really need to go." And I left. I felt maybe a little bit bad, but at the same time I felt like, oh cool, I was able to actually say no to something. And when I came back, after a while, when I saw her again, she was a little bit upset, and she was just a little bit like giving me like cold shoulder. I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah." And I go, "Is it because I told you I have to go and I couldn't stay here?" And she was like, "Yeah." And she was upset. So, and I looked her in the eyes and I said, "Okay, what about this?" And she goes like, "What?" And I said, "Hey, I really would love you to get on your knees and give me a nice wet blowjob." And she looked at me and she was like, "What? No." And I was like, "No? What?" And I just tried to like, as I went like this, I was like, "No, that's bullshit. I want a blowjob now." And as I was like telling her the story, she just really clicked. Okay, sometimes something we really need to do. We need to. I don't. Maybe this is not something I'm willing to do right now, and I should be able to say no. But maybe use extreme examples. People can feel it. So this is every time you want to say no to someone, and they cannot take your no. I always say something ridiculous, so they have to say no, so they can feel what it means to look after themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah.
This is amazing example, really incredible example, because we are so quick to like judge when we get no, but it's like in the end of the day, we need to look after ourselves first before we can look after anybody else.
Yes.
Right. Shall we move forward?
Sure.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. All right. What you see here is called the Wheel of Consent, created by Dr. Betsy Martin. It's one of the most beautiful concepts in the world, I believe. And I learned this in different retreats, and I studied this, and I believe everybody needs to understand about this dynamic. As you can see in this picture, you see there are 4 different quadrants, which I will go through all of them. And you see this circle around, and that circle around is actually your boundaries or your consent. Anything inside the circle is something that is within your boundaries, and anything is outside out of your boundaries, which again we want to talk more about it. So this is a bit, because it's a full diagram, it might be a little bit too overwhelming. So if you go to the next page, please. All right. So in this page, if you go back again, I just want to, yes. What we're going to talk about now is more about a dynamic we call it in a sense in a sexual dynamic, but it applies to any aspect of our lives. We use sexual because it's very clear when we in an intimate dynamic to understand about the different roles that we play. One of the main things that I invite you all to understand and contemplate on is that a lot of people think that when we do a pleasure, when we want to give pleasure, or for us to experience pleasure, somebody has to do something that or they're going to give pleasure to us. So if I'm with a lover, I have to give her pleasure. For her to experience pleasure, I have to do something. So I have to give. So when we look at this diagram, if you just look at the top half, you see, if you got a cursor that you are doing on top, see this is the cursor on top, you are doing. Eugenia, can you please move the cursor on you are doing on top so people can see?
Right. I have got 1 moment. Let me just move this. Yeah.
Okay, so you are doing, yeah, and then at the bottom there is they are doing, or you being done to. And on the left side of the diagram is giving, and the other side is receiving. Okay, so one of the best ways to understand about this dynamics is, imagine that you are with a partner next to you, and you ask your partner, hey, will you or would you give me or touch my hand, or would you massage my arm? And what are you going to talk when, and this is actually when I teach this in workshops, I pair people up and ask them that person A and person B. So one person offers his hand, and we talk about the boundaries. Okay, so the boundaries can be just from the wrist to the fingers. So this is the area that we're going to work with. And one person goes to the other, hey, would you please massage my hand? And the other person the question would be, yes, how would you like me to massage your hand? And the first person goes like, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, I want you to do this. You explain everything, whatever that you want. And the other person, if they agree to what you ask for, then you can relax, and the other person would deliver or serve you whatever you ask for. And then you accept it. So if you look at this diagram, you see the serve and you see the accept. And in this part, the doing, the person who's doing is your partner, for instance, and he or she is doing the work, and you are in a more passive, or you're being done to, and you are receiving the pleasure. So your partner is serving you and you are accepting it. Is everything, if everything makes sense so far, I want everybody to just say yes. Or no. Yes, all good, beautiful. Yes, get it. Okay, this is so far is very clear. So now, after this finishes, what's gonna happen? You will tell your partner thank you, because they gave you what you asked for. Now, imagine about another dynamic, that you tell your partner, hey, can I feel, or may I feel your hand? And your partner would say, hey, okay, I'm not sure. What do you want to do? How do you want to feel my hand? And you can go, okay, I want to, for instance, scratch it. I want you just to bite it. And he would say, actually, you know what? I don't want you to bite it, but to do this. And you say, okay, I'm going to do this. And then you both come to a mutual agreement. Again, it is all about setting boundaries, which we're going to go in more detail later. And then when everything is done and your partner has a clear understanding of what you are going to do to his hand, then he can relax, and you will use his hand for your own pleasure. So this is one of those dynamics that is very, very rare for us, especially when it comes to our sexual dynamics. Because for us, it's all about, I have to serve. But in this dynamic, which is these two quadrants of take and allow, see, the take, it goes on the top half, which is the doing, yeah, and with the doing, the pleasure actually comes to you. So if you look at these arrows in the middle, see, the gift goes from the allow to the take, and the action goes from the take to allow in the center. See these two arrows? So in a serve and accept, the server is doing the action going towards the person who's accepting, and the gift also going from the server to the person who accepts. But however, in the other dynamic, you basically used your partner's hand for your own pleasure. You just use his hand and then felt it and lick it and just like, oh my God, and you explored it, do whatever you wanted to do, the one that was within the boundaries that you both agreed upon. And in that case, your partner is allowing you access to his body. And then after, when it's done, what's going to happen that you will tell him thank you, which is something that's really, really rare in our culture. Because what we always learn in our dynamic because is that we always want to serve. And what happens if we are not really clear about which of these quadrants that we are in? It will create confusion. So one of the most important thing for any of you to practice is when you are with a partner or just with a friend, really feel into which one of these quadrants are you in. And another example of the serving and accepting and taking. It can be, hey, I want to leave, I'm at a friend's house and I want to go home. And I tell my friend, hey, can I take your car and go home? Or can you drive me home? And if my friend says, okay, I will drive you home. So he's driving me home and he's serving me. So I'm accepting his ride. Yes? Or I might tell him, hey, I really need to go home. I need a car. And he tells me, okay, here's my keys. Go and grab the keys and take my car and go home. In both ways, I'm getting to what I want. I'm receiving a gift. But in the second one, I'm taking. I'm using his gift that he basically he's giving me access to the gift. And I'm taking action, and the benefit is for me. So it's really, 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 really important. And but it is taking and allowing when it comes to touch is mainly take place in an intimate relationship, because otherwise it's going to be a little weird. So I really, really highly recommend that all of you try these 4 different quadrants and really become familiar with it. So with the serving, someone's doing, so basically also serving, it can be you go to a massage place and you ask for a deep tissue massage, and the massage guy gives you the massage that you want. So just lie down and they serve it to you. Okay, someone said something. It is strange because the way I film it works was to bodily gesture. Who would take the lead? This is a new way for me. Yeah, of course. It's administrator. Or I don't know who's administrator.
I cannot see the question right now.
Someone, her name is administrator here. Can you just write your name so we know who you are, please? I don't want to call you administrator.
Sounds very kinky.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just waiting for her to write her. Lynette. Hey. So yeah. So it's not about again. It can be leading and it can be not doing anything. But the most important thing is we should know who is benefiting from this.
Can you read the question out loud, please? Because people who are watching on the record, they will not see the questions written down. So.
It is okay. So Lynette is asking or saying it is strange because the way I assumed it worked was to bodily gestures, and it would depend on who would take the lead. This is a new way for me. So again, it doesn't necessarily matter who's doing what. What matters is who is the pleasure is for. And this is a very refined, like in these 4 quadrants, we're taking all the parts apart so we can really understand how everything works. So for instance, I was with my lover and I told her, hey, can I just please receive today? I'm really tired and I just want to do nothing. So can I just lie down? And she asked me, okay, what would you like? And I said, I want you to just massage me and then stroke my legs and then stroke my genitals, whatever that I wanted in that moment. So I would ask, hey, will you do this and this and this and this to me? And then if it was within her boundaries, which I want to say what happens if it's not, then she would say, okay, I'm happy to do this. For example, I would say, hey, can you give me a 5-hour massage? And she would be like, okay, no, I'm not going to give you a 5-hour massage. But what about half an hour massage? Like, okay, half an hour massage is good. So we negotiating. This is one of the most important thing about communication is our ability to negotiate. No doesn't always mean no. It means like no to this, but yes, possibly yes to something else. So don't take no for rejection, which it can be, but you can always negotiate. And we come to a mutual agreement. So then I lie down and then I'm like, so it's very important to understand and familiarize yourself with each of these quadrants. Each has its own benefit and each has its own challenges. And it's very, very important to understand what everything of the benefits and challenges are. So we're going to go to serving. We're going to look at serving in a little bit more details. So as you can see here, action to benefit others. Basically, as we explained, someone asks you to do something, and we really like, most of us really like to be in this dynamic because it's one of the most not easiest, but it's a selfless one. It's a very selfless dynamic place to be, and it's okay because we just want to give. And we feel like, okay, by giving, I'm really happy. And especially a lot of women, unfortunately, just got used to fall into the serving mode. Because I just need to make him happy or make her happy. And we just want to do, because also doing would put us in a less vulnerable position. However, the tricky thing about the serving is if you fall out of your boundaries. So if you want to do something and your partner asks, can you do this for me? And you're like, you don't really want to do it. And you say, okay, because you feel bad and you want to compromise and you do all of that. A lot of people do. Then you are falling out of the consent, the wheel of consent. And this is on the shadow side, you're going to be the do-gooder. You're going to be the rescuer. You're going to be the martyr. You're going to be the basically the slave. So it's just gonna be like, I'm just giving and giving and giving and nobody is doing anything for me. And all of this happens when you don't know when to say no.
Ladies, just type yes if you're familiar how that feels like. Just type yes if you're familiar how that feels like, what Sia just described, like being a victim, being a rescuer, being like, outside of your consent zone. It's so interesting. I had a conversation yesterday with many, many, many women, and all of them said that it's such a common thing that when they are having sex with a guy, that they just serve, and it's all about the man. It's all about the guy, and their pleasure kind of gets a backseat. So ladies, pay attention to everything what Sia says, really.
Edwina is saying, I'm wondering about the difference between negotiation and equality for both parties. Like if a guy asks for a blowjob every day, I want to ask for something that is equal to that. Do you get me? I do get you, but I feel there is a fundamental issue with that you say if a guy asks you for a blowjob every day, it kind of shows me that like you don't have anything to say that okay no, which you can always say no. You can always again if you feel like okay I'm obligated. So when a lot of people who fall into the shadow side of the serving is when they feel obligated to please the other person, the people pleasers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing this out of, because if you're in a serving mode and you like really like, if someone says, hey, can you give me a blowjob, and you're like, oh my god, I would love to give you a blowjob, excuse me, I would love to give you a blowjob, you know that, and then you put your heart into it. But if you're not feeling okay, not every day he asks you, can you give me a blowjob, and you don't feel like doing it, and then you do it, then there's all these things gonna come up that okay, now I have to ask for something in return, because it becomes a war. It doesn't become that you're giving something selflessly because you want to give, so you want to get something in return. So it becomes a trade, which is again, it's the fairness comes in it, but it's all about you knowing, even if you don't feel like doing something, you should always able to say no. When I teach about radical honesty and like conscious or awakened relationship, I have a rule when I tell couples, and I tell them for few days, or say 2 or 3 days, practice that either of you can always say no to anything he or she wants without the need to explain why.
Mm.
Can you imagine if you'd be able to practice that? Hey, can you pass me the water? No. That tight feeling, that trigger that takes place in us, it comes from a wounded place, to be honest, because we, oh no, someone not giving me what I want? Oh my God.
What does it mean about me?
Yeah, what is it about me? Like, oh, I'm not worthy a glass of water. Oh, and then we go fall into a victim. So it's actually very powerful, but it's very challenging practice to do, which I don't recommend that everybody do it unless you have a very strong foundation of communication. But yeah, no, babe, can you, I don't do this? No, okay,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and that's the thing.
Yeah, this is what I teach also in my teachings. It's like radical honesty, and yes and no are perfectly. It's just a fully conformed sentences. You don't have to explain your yes. You don't have to explain your no's. If it's a no, it's no only for that time. It could be different in half an hour, like I was saying before. And also, just to expand a little bit more on your question, so what Sia was saying about it becomes a trade. Do you really want to have your relationship been based on trade, like exchange? Because it's like, really think, it's like it's not all about fairness. Sometimes he may be doing something for you all day long, all week long, all months long, without asking anything in return, and he really feeling to make you happy. And when you can accept that greatness, so it's like it's in yourself. Can you accept something for yourself without feeling that you have to give something in return? Because it's not about how much pleasure he can give me and I can give him back. It's not about how much what he asked me to give me and what he can give me back. Because really, what if you just give because you want to give? And what if you just receive because you feel good receiving, knowing that you don't have to do anything in return? So something for you to ponder on here.
Yeah, and it's very and I'm gonna take this off so I can actually see. So what did that answer your question, Edwina?
Okay, let me just move this. Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing for now. Mm-hmm.
So just one thing, if to just make it a bit faster, whoever is asking a question and we are answering, and then when we ask, if you respond quickly so we can move on really fast. Thank you. Beautiful. So if we go back again to the sharing, please.
Sure. I think we shortly will do the exercise about yes and no in the body when you're ready to move.
I'm gonna probably finish. We'll go through this and then we can go to that after. And so accepting. So serving is it gives us this feeling of as I said again, being generous. It gives us a sense of generosity. So when serving comes from in the boundaries and it comes from heart, it makes us feel generous. It plays in a spiritual sense, you can say. Accepting also is a very super important, which is very, very difficult. So anything that comes on the right side of this circle is very difficult for us to be in. And the reason for that is because we are asking for pleasure. And many of us want to actually fall on the left side because it's so much easier to just do it for others. Oh, I'm such a giver. Nothing for me, and I'm not worth it. Because if you want to fall on the right side, you really need to own your worth. And I still am aware that if I'm going to ask my lover for a back rub, or can I just receive? I have some inner resistance, which I'm aware, because it goes really deep in our core. And am I worthy enough? Sometimes I realize I'm in my head for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Sometimes I'm struggling. Oh, should I ask her? Can I just receive tonight, darling, or can I just do this? Because then I realize, oh my God, I'm in my head because I just feel like maybe she's going to reject me. She's going to say no to me. And all these stories, the conditioning comes up. And the moment you ask for it and you're like, oh, it's again asking without being attached to the answer. It's just the practice of asking for what you want, which again, next week, we're going to go really much deeper into that. So the thing is accepting or receiving is that we are benefiting from the action of others. And when you fall out of the boundaries, then you're, as you see here, you're a freeloader, you're feeling entitled, you're basically like a slave owner. And that's what's happening. You just you expect people to do everything for you. And the thing is, when you are if you're in a server mode and you're slowly falling out of your boundaries, the other person would also, you're automatically going to see other person out of their boundaries. If you're giving something, if your partner asks you, hey, can you give me a back rub, and you don't really feel like doing it, and when you do it, you already resent him or her because, oh my God, hey, everybody trying to use me. Well, no, you allowing them to use you because you fall out of your own boundaries. If you could say no, then things would be different. And this is super, super important to know that, okay, am I in my boundaries? Is that person is giving me too much? Or are they, but that's why you should always be able to ask. And that's why, because we don't want to fall on the right side of the receiving, on the right side, the shadow sides are really, for us, is not really nice because we're feeling like we're using others or taking advantage of others. So we don't even want to dare to ask for any pleasure for ourselves. So it's this is your self love practice. This is your spiritual practice. It's self-development practice to put yourself on the right side of this circle as much as you can, and really own it.
Yes.
Really own it.
Yes, I actually want to add something here, that not that long ago I have asked my ex-boyfriend like to do something for me, to get something from me, because really when I thought of something, and like I was like, oh, I really want to get this slide, and just the idea came to me, I would really love to receive that from him. So I called him and I said, it's like, hey, listen, I really would love to ask you something. And like, basically I have made an ask. I was like, hey, can you get me this slide? You know, I thought that I really wanted, and I just had a guidance that I would really like to receive it from you. So I decided to ask you. And he was like, oh, well, I don't know, maybe. I was like, listen, do you know, just check in with yourself. If it feels good to you, say yes. And if it doesn't, then say no. He's like, no, it doesn't. So he said, it feels like you're using me. But the truth is, you know, when you asking from your heart, from the truth, that it's like you really desire to receive that from that person, and you know that there is no shadow there, like this is his shadow right there, that he's used, that he's that, you know. So this his shadow, because I know that my ask comes from the purity of my heart, and I've been completely honest with him. I know that there is no using or anything like that. I just really felt like I would like to receive that from him. And he has got the option to give me yes or a no. But then he can fall into his own shadow. Oh, you're using me and this and that. Because, you know that when your intentions are pure, there is nobody else can actually project anything on you, because you are centered in who you are and what you are. And it's like, again, it's like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I had a guidance to ask you. I felt that I would really love to receive this gift from you. And if it's a no, it's fine. Thank you. So as simple as that.
Yes, and I just wanted to add something on so when you're on the right side, it's a very vulnerable place to be, because you're actually asking, and asking put us in a vulnerable position. Whether you want to ask somebody for money, you want to ask somebody for help, because even when you ask someone for help, you know, you're asking them to serve you something, and it's a very vulnerable place to be, and it's beautiful, because vulnerability is beautiful. But that's why a lot of people want to avoid. And back to the accepting or receiving quadrants, the beauty of this is gratitude and gratefulness.
Yes.
It makes you feel like, oh, I'm worthy and I'm grateful for this. So as a server, you're being selfless and generous, and as a receiver and as someone is accepting, you're feeling gratitude. So the other two quadrants, the take and allow. So this is a very tricky one. This is something that is not very known to many people, because nobody actually practices, because the shadow side of the taking is very, very dark. So when you're taking, is again, you're showing, okay, hey, can I basically take control of my own pleasure? Can I do for my own? That's very deep for us to actually ask. Yeah? So you're taking action to benefit yourself. How selfish is that?
Ooh, too selfish.
Too selfish. I think we should just delete this quadrant. It's no good. But no, seriously, this is one of the most pleasurable things that we can do when it comes to intimate dynamic.
Yeah.
To touch for our own pleasure. But the thing about the taking is, if you are operating out of your boundaries and out of your partner boundaries, the shadow side is a perpetrator, is stealing, is assault, is rape and war. And because we don't want to fall into that, we don't even dare to ask. So we just leave it. All right, I'm not going to do it. Okay. And the, the good thing about taking is when you take, and the opposite of taking is allowing. And when again, all of the good things happens when it is within the boundaries. And when you allow, as long as everything is boundaries, it's beautiful because you get to practice the art of surrender. Because that's when you feel safe. Okay, now I'm all yours. And it's such a beautiful thing. And when you're in the taking, the practice of taking is integrity. Because because we all want stuff. None of us can deny the fact that we want stuff. But what we do most of the time, we just hide under the serving. I'm just serving, but we're actually taking. So we're not have integrity in that. So the integrity comes when you can take, because you're really damn honest. I'm going to touch you for my own pleasure. Is that okay? I'm not going to hide behind the thing because I'm so scared to ask. Oh, I'm just going to, and that's what happens. Like a lot of men, they want to serve, but they actually want to take. I'm not going to talk men and women, but a lot of us. And
Yeah.
when you want to allow, and when you in the allow side, your shadow is you just tolerating, enduring, doormat, pushover, victim, and just being passive. And this is something that we unfortunately a lot of women fall into. So what happens here? What you need to understand before when you on the lower side of this circle, see the allow and accept. You're on the passive side, or you're on the being done to side. But passive is doesn't mean choiceless. I remember I was teaching this in Sweden, and Swedish girls are like really like radical feminists, and I was like, "Oh, we're not passive." And I was like, "Okay, no. People sometimes feel like I'm passive," as I'm like, I'm no passive in terms of okay, I'm
actively receiving. Actively
yes.
receiving.
Yeah, but again, allowing. But this is the thing. All of these also have an aha moment, which I'm gonna explain after this. So when you're in the bottom side, you are not doing. Somebody else is doing, but you always have the choice. And you're not choiceless. That's what you need to understand. And when you feel that you're choiceless, that's when you fall into the shadow side. That's when you become a victim. Oh, I just wanted to say no, but I couldn't say no. I'm not meant to say no. So this is the thing. So all of my dream in the world is when people can stand up for their consent. And you are responsible for your own consent. The same way that we talked about that you're responsible for your own pleasure, you're responsible for your boundaries.
Yes.
Again, I'm not saying it's as a lot of time people like assault you and a lot of things happen that is beyond our power to do something, and I understand that. But in a day-to-day life, if you're in a lover, or if you're in a situation that is we are able to stand up for ourselves, that's the practice, to stand up for ourselves in a day-to-day life. And so this is something I invite you all to be really, really aware of it. And the thing is about all of these quadrants also, they all have an aha moment. The aha moment, and it becomes pleasurable, is for the serving that the pleasure is not for me. It's again, all of the first thing is when you're in each of these quadrants, and if all of you within your boundaries, then all of them are enjoyable. If I'm serving someone, or I'm giving someone a massage and I really want to do it, it's so beautiful. I love it. And when I see my partner is like enjoying herself, but the aha moment is when I know that, okay, all my attention is here to serve her. That's and when I'm accepting or receiving the aha moment, I shouldn't worry about if he's getting tired or she's getting tired or not. The thing is, okay, now it's my turn to relax and enjoy. Yes, which is also very important. And for the taking, if you want to go into the taking quadrant, you need to, the aha moment is, okay, I'm not doing anything for this person. Damn, no. Screw that. I'm touching for me.
Mm.
And I'm fucking selfish. Why? Because my partner allowed me to be selfish. You know, and when you're in the allowing, you realize, okay, now I'm just, the gift is going from me to them. And this is the pleasure is for them. I'm surrendering. And the moment you can do that, you surrender. And it's a very beautiful thing, because when you're in the allowing, you don't have to even worry about receiving. And that is one of the most pleasurable places to be. Because again, accepting can be very vulnerable. Oh, am I, for example, and this is one of the things I tell my partner is when they touch me and say, hey, can you please just take? Can you just take? Can you just be in this quadrant of taking? And I just want to surrender. I don't want to even responsible for the pleasure. Because being in accepting, sometimes you feel responsible that like, okay, now I have to receive the pleasure. I have to make sure that I'm super wet, I'm super hard. Because if I'm not, then the person who is serving gonna get upset. Maybe they're not. So all that shit goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So the allowing, I don't even have to worry about anything. It's all for them. And then I get to enjoy and relax.
Mm.
And it's super important to do that.
Mm.
So I invite you all to really practice with each of these quadrants and understand the benefit, and just be in one of each quadrants at a time.
Mm.
May I touch you? Yes. Or would you touch me? Okay. How would you want me to touch you? Like this and this and this and this. You lie down, you relax, and your partner's serving you this. Can I touch you? How would you like to touch me? Can I do this, do this, do this, and do this? Okay, maybe not this one. Okay, this one. So you come to a mutual agreement, and then you take. This is super, super beautiful. And the thing about taking is, when you learn to take, that's when you're able to directly experience pleasure.
Mm.
And so this is when you understand the art of touch. When you touch your lover's skin, when you touch your lover's body, when you touch your lover's hair, genitals, you're doing it for your own pleasure. So that's a deep, because most of the time when we serve, we receive pleasure by seeing our lover having pleasure. So then our pleasure becomes dependent on their pleasure receptivity. Whether when you're in taking, you don't give a shit. Fuck you. Yeah, and it's so beautiful. It's just like a lot of tensions will go away. But what happens in a normal life, because everybody's in their shadows, everybody don't talk about this. Most men usually they believe they're in the serving mode, and the only way that you can actually know which quadrants you're in is through communication, is to negotiation before you do anything. Okay, can you now go in this quadrant of serving and be an accepting, and I go in allowing and you go on taking? Because if not, usually men believe they're serving. I'm just giving as much as I can. Look, I'm sweating. I lost like 10 kilos in the last 2 weeks. I'm doing so much. Oh my God, I'm such a hero.
Yeah.
And then women usually think, oh my God, he's just taking from me. So the women usually think they're in the allowing. I'm just letting him do whatever he wants. And he thinks he's serving you, and you think he's just taking from you.
Mm.
And it all becomes, there is no clear communication about it. Because you don't say, hey, you go on this side and I'm on this side, and we're going to negotiate, and everything is super clear. And if you're not clear about it, it's just going to get messy. So please, please, please bring this open communication into your bedrooms, into every aspect of your life. The same thing with your mom. Teach this concept to your family. Tell them, okay, to sit down with them. Okay, at home, Mom, when you ask me to do this, you are coming to this role and I'm on this role, and we have to understand about our boundaries. And if I be able to say no, then I'm in my boundaries. And if I say yes to when it's a no, then I'm gonna feel like a slave, and it's gonna break all the relationship, the trust, and everything gonna go away. And when you're in your shadows, there is no way for you to relax and enjoy. And for us, our intimacy is all about enjoyment and pleasure.
Mm.
And only when you fall in this circle, that's only this is really pleasurable.
Mm.
Outside of this is that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's so important, so important to know where you are on the quadrant and how to own your nose. Which
Yes.
actually, can we move to the exercise now, Sia?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. So our exercise, right, so I'm going to stop sharing now. Our exercise is actually that you get to feel your yeses and your nos. And what's going to happen, because our body is responding to when we say yes and when we say no. And it's important for you to learn how does your body respond when you're saying yes and when you're saying no. So you can actually be aware, oh, if I have got this feeling in my body, it means that I don't really want to do it. Or, oh, if I have got this feeling in my body, it means that I can go ahead. And it is very, very powerful way to really learn about yourself and how things work for you personally. Because what is yes for you might be no for somebody else, and vice versa. So it's very, very important for you to know how do you feel in yourself. So what's going to happen now is that I'm going to be asking Sia questions, and he will have to tell me yes to every single question. So he will, and what I would like to invite you to do is to actually answer the questions out loud with Sia, and just to say yes to every single question. Like no matter what, no matter how bizarre, how, like, especially if it's a bizarre one, just make sure you say yes. And okay, are you ladies with me? Everyone is ready? Please type yes in the box.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Okay, Zafia, yes. Beautiful. It's a yes from Edwina. We don't have many participants on a call. It's yes from Lynette. Because
did everybody change the time? Even in America?
Yeah, no, I have received actually a few messages today that that they're not able to make today because, you know, it's a Mother's Day and people are...
I see.
Yeah. But also some people are watching from Australia and like other continents where actually it's like 4 a.m. in the morning. So
I know.
like, shout out to you ladies. It's like amazing, and welcome here in the Orgasmic Queen. No matter where you are, we're with you and you're with us. So thank you. Right. Okay. So let's carry on. So everyone is ready. So let's do this. And see, are you ready?
Yes.
Right. Beautiful. Sia, would you give me flowers?
Yes.
Sia, would you give me £1,000,000?
Yes.
Sia, I would like you to give me a Ferrari.
Yes.
Sia, I would like to give you a massage.
Yes.
I would like For you to invite me to a candlelit dinner.
Yes.
I would like for you to film me having sex with with other people.
With
Other people.
Yes.
Sia, I would like for you to give me a puppy.
Yes.
I would like I would like to watch TV.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So, lady, how was that feeling for you? And ladies, please think for yourself, how did it feel for you when you was answering yes to the questions, especially when you wanted to say no? How did it feel for you? Awkward, right? How
Yes.
did it feel in your body? Especially question, would you feel me having sex? Ah, this is
That was a yes.
it was a yes for you, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't yes for everybody.
True.
You know, so this is, you see, another thing. What is yes for one person, it is a no for somebody else. And the only way your body really knows how you feel inside, you know, it's like you get the sensation when it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that, I don't want to go there. So it's very, very, very important to check in with yourself. Right. And now okay, so Lynette says, didn't want to respond when it was a no.
Okay. So now I'm
Oh,
gonna. Yeah. Sorry. Continue. Sorry.
yeah. So you see, Lynette, so you didn't want, so you go in a mode of silencing yourself, like not expressing your no's. So this is a huge one to actually pay attention to. So when it's not a yes for you, you usually like retract, you just move back, and it's like you start resenting, let's say, not having a voice. And this is a huge part of your healing process, to voicing and saying your no's. And like for all the ladies who can relate to that, it is a massive, like we don't say no, we just like, oh. And I have done this myself so many times. It's like I just feel more comfortable not saying anything at all, and then just like look elsewhere, rather than to say, actually, do you know what, it's a no from me.
Yes.
Because it's like it's easier to just like turn away, but then I promise you, your life will never be the same when you're gonna own your nose. Will never be the same.
Oh, beautiful.
Which brings us to the next part. So
I'm gonna do this one actually, for
yeah.
your permission, because
Okay.
I want participant to feel. I want to do two different scenarios.
Yeah.
It just came to me that imagine that I am a person that asking questions which is out. I'm someone that you don't find attractive, or I'm someone that you don't want to have anything to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and whatever question I ask, you just say yes at the same time. See, how does that feel? You know, like when you because I feel that is something that happens to a lot of people. And then we're going to do the similar thing with the no. I just want to add that before we move to the no. So I'm the guy that a bit creepy and a bit not in my heart, and Um, but you cannot say no to me. I
How
want you to really
creepy?
feel into that.
How
Very
creepy are you?
creepy.
Very creepy.
But yeah, just someone that is like, yeah. So if you just feel into your body and say yes
Mhm.
to whatever I ask.
Ladies, take a deep breath in
Mm.
and
Can I
exhale.
touch you? Mm.
Hmm.
Can I grab your ass?
Yes.
Can I feel your breasts?
Yes.
Can I take you home and have my way with you?
Yes.
Mm. Can I have sex with you without using condom? While I haven't checked for STD for 10 years.
Yes.
All right. If you just now I invite you just everybody to open your eyes, and I'm pretty sure it's been very difficult, and it will bring a lot of emotion up. And the purpose of the exercise was to actually bring this crap up. So for all of us on
Mm.
both sides of this to understand what it means when we cannot say no. And we've done it so many times. I've done so many times in my life that I said yes to something that I didn't really want to do it. And I want all of us to feel that shittiness. That, all right, no, but you always have this choice to say no. But we don't believe ourselves that I have a choice to say no. And by not saying no, we're just gonna be miserable. So how did you feel, Eugenia, in your body when you were saying yes to
I
all of that?
I felt tension in my chest and I felt tension like in my lower belly. I felt resistance. I was like, I wanted to like tense my hands.
Yeah.
It was really like, oh no.
Yeah. And any of the ladies who is watching, any of you had any things to share? I feel a tension in my own body when I was asking all of this.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
And this is something that is really common in people's lives, especially in women. Tension in the chest, creepy goosebumps, yes.
Mm.
And have you had anything like that in the past? I'm pretty sure a lot of all of us had it. Just this feeling of powerlessness, tension,
Mm.
yeah. And
Shivers.
yeah, this is not good. It's just, see now, if this is just a practice for you to realize you have the choice to move to a point of being actually saying no to feel really good about it.
Yeah.
Because self-care, sure, but usually simply ignore it and moved on.
Mm.
It's okay. Yeah, I understand. Yes, you ignore. So not saying walking away is also another form of saying no, I don't want to be here. But the best way is to be able to communicate no, because that's when you can express yourself. Running away is also an easy way out. It's okay, sometimes we need to protect ourselves to just leave, but being able to hold our ground and say no, that is something that is very, very empowering.
It's taking ownership of
Yes,
yourself.
yes, showing that I'm worthy of
Yeah.
saying no. They
It's
always
like,
say yes man, fuck the yes man. It's a no woman or a
yeah.
no man.
Yeah, it's like I am saying no and I owning my no.
Yes.
I'm not how would I say this? I'm not going to allow you to just put like anything on me, and it's like running away. It's like it's a great way of dealing with things, but when you actually have to come face to face to something that you really don't want and don't like, and actually have this nerve in you to say, it's like, no, I don't want that, and no, I'm not giving this to you. This is like, in the moment you learn to do that, the power you're gonna like possess, it's absolutely incredible. And I'm actually very conscious of time, and your home assignment will be just that, but we're gonna get back to that in a moment. So let's carry on with our exercise here.
Mm-hmm. So, should I continue?
Yeah, I think you should continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and now we're gonna just say yes.
Take a deep breath, everybody.
Oh no! We're gonna say no now. We're gonna say no.
We're gonna say no to every question. Say no.
Yeah. Yes. It reminds me of the person. Okay. I'm gonna read that later. So now, you're gonna imagine that I'm the most. Not, you don't need to imagine that I'm the most attractive. I'm just joking. So imagine that I'm the most attractive person in your life.
I just am the most attractive. Okay, so you can open your eyes, ladies.
It's 12:30 a.m. here, so I had a long day. So now you're gonna imagine that I'm the most desirable, irresistible person in your life, and whatever question I'm gonna ask, you have to say no. Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Can I buy you flower?
No.
Can I take you home and lick you from head to toe?
No.
Can I buy you a car?
No.
Can I give you 10 million pounds?
No.
I think that's enough. So that gets the point. I feel so rejected.
And I feel like, damn it.
So yeah, so see, this is again, and my response to that would be, thank you for looking after yourself. This is one of the things that, again, actually, I'm running ahead a little bit. So the next exercise that we're going to do is, again, same thing. You're going to say no, and I'm that creepy guy that you don't want to have anything with.
Mm-hmm. It's about the concept also, right?
Yes. So.
Okay, so now, ladies, close your eyes, okay?
I'm the guy that you don't want to have anything with, and he's coming to your space, and he says,
like, gets in your face.
You a hug? Yeah. Can I give you a hug?
No.
Can I hold your hand?
No.
Can I caress your hair?
No.
Can I feel your genital?
No.
Can I undress you?
No.
Can I slap your face?
No.
Can I take you home?
No.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So what came up for me was like, how dare you even ask me that? It's like,
well, I'm entitled to ask. People are entitled to ask questions. Yes.
Yeah. And but like immediate reaction, like when I imagine that it's like you're some creepy guy, for me it's
Mhm.
like, how dare you even ask me this?
Yes. Again.
Because yeah.
Again, this is the thing that I see a lot happening in a world that is like people are afraid to ask
Mm-hmm.
because people are afraid to ask because people are afraid to hear the answer.
Mm.
People are afraid to be asked because they are not they're so not sure that how they're going to respond, and all that becomes a really mess. So the thing is, in a world that we want to live in, everybody should be able to ask for whatever they desire. Because I look at someone, hey, can I hold your hand? I'm not crossing any boundaries.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened here. See ya. Okay. Right. While C is hopefully is getting back, I'm just gonna read out some comments. And Lynette is saying, it reminds me of personal space. It's like I felt they were in my space, and at this, it's because I didn't know how to respond. Yeah, well, Lynette, again, practice saying no. That is important, really, really important. And what else Lynette is saying is, what a mega echo at the first time. Second creepy guy, I felt like I was too good for him. So yes, no all the way. So mega ego the first time. Yeah, I was feeling, I actually have been in situations where like people, like men, ask me something and I'm like, how dare do you even ask me this? But then I'm like, I have to fall into my heart, and it's like he is a reflection of me in some way. Oh, hello. See, okay, let me just see.
Hello.
See, we can hear you. Let me just see. I can hear.
Sorry, this is the thing of living in Thailand. The whole electricity for like 5 seconds went off,
Mm,
and the internet died. So I'm just using my phone internet
mm-hmm.
at the moment, so I disconnected. So
Okay,
apologies for that.
no problem.
There are two CODs.
There too. You are doubling up as we speak. Right. So I'm trying to figure out how to actually. I'm gonna make you a host again.
It's okay. I think we if
Oh, you are a
uh,
host. Okay. Here.
if you
Okay, you're host again. So.
okay.
Yay!
Beautiful. Sorry, everybody. So yeah, what was I saying?
So
Everything's done.
basically, no. So basically, what happened? Lynette just shared her experience that it's like that she had a massive. She found a massive ego. It's like when she was responding to creepy guy that is like that she was too good for him. So what she
Yes.
also says, I find that men that are good looking with the big ego, I tend to not entertain because I believe that they're full of themselves. Yes, that is my fault. I can see it. Well, the truth is, it's like you always can ask, and everybody else is always entitled to ask. And what it brings up in us, it's It's our thing, it's our shadow. And it's like, if the creepy guy, like, we all want stuff, we all want things, we all want experiences, and we all want to live a fulfilled life, and we all absolutely entitled to have that. So, but also it's very important to remember that only you are entitled to look after yourself. You know, it's like, it's nobody else's job to make sure that you're fine. It's your responsibility. You're saying,
unless you want to be a little child, you know, and you want to fall into that archetype of, I'm this little child and I'm so helpless. Otherwise, if you're a grown-up, you take responsibility for everything. Everything.
Yeah, for your yeses and your nos, for your good and for your bad, for your dark and for your light, everything. Right, so I'm very conscious of the time, and let's try to finish in the next 6 minutes. And I would share the screen where we're gonna cover our home assignment for you ladies. Also, I would like to hear from you on the Facebook group. How did your home assignment went from the week 1? Because this is so important. It's so important for us to know what, like, not. Oh my gosh, now it's me. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
I want to make you the host.
Maybe it's not a good idea, because I think that it could have been my connection just then. Can you hear me?
Beautiful. Can you also hear Eugenia? Beautiful.
Right. So shall we carry on?
Eugenia, they cannot hear you.
Oh, right. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay. So what I'm going to do, if you all can hear me, I'm just going to go through the exercises and then we go from there. Eugenia, can you say something if we can hear you?
Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me now? Yes? No? Can you hear? Hello?
If you hear me, it's okay. You can go carry on and finish the class, darling.
Right, I can hear you. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so, you just share your screen, go to the exercise. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Beautiful. Dun, dun, dun. So, ladies, as I was saying, your home assignment. Please share your experience with us in the group. This Facebook group is there for a reason, for you to connect and for you to express your journey, because we don't want to just like leave you out there so you just do things by yourself and it's like you having all of these experiences and like you get no support. The whole idea of the group is for you to get the support to express what you're going through so that we can support you and other women can support you, because we are all on the same journey, okay? And we need to make sure that you are actually experiencing what you're experiencing and to get to know that you're fine and what comes up for you, because it's your journey, but also, you know, by you sharing something, it might resonate with somebody else who have got less ability to express themselves, for example, you know. So our experiences are so similar and we think that it's like nobody else goes through what we are going through. And when we actually start sharing, we actually get to understand that, oh my God, I'm not alone in this situation. And this is so beautiful to actually get to realize that, you know what, I'm not by myself. I'm not alone. I have other women who are going through similar things. We can support one another. We can say how we feel. And it's so important. And it's a safe space for you to actually express yourself. So please use it. Use it. It's for you. Right. So your home assignment is to say at least 3 no's per week. To say 3 no's per week, because this is so important. As Lynette was saying just then, she wants to silence herself when she's saying no. As Anya was saying, that she just like turns away and goes about her day. So this is not the home assignment to just turn away and go and carry on with whatever you're doing. Your assignment is actually to say no. Or it could be what I teach, to say no, thank you. Okay, so you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to create a story why it's a no. You don't have to be polite. You just say no when you really feel no in your body, and you know how no feels in your body. Okay, so own your no's, and 3 no's per day. I'm going to be asking in a Facebook group, and I'm going to be calling you out if you are not actually sharing. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Right. Be aware of your emotions and bodily sensations when you say yes and no. So this, again, be totally present with your body, and the whole incredible difference gonna be there. You know, it's like when you respond to people, just pay attention to your body. And to do that, deep breathing, take breaths, you know, get into your body. I know that most of you ladies who's on this call, you are aware of your bodies. You know how to get into your bodies. And if you don't, then what you do is just take a couple of deep breaths, tune into yourself, and respond. Okay? So set boundaries with at least 3 people during the week. So people you are communicating the most, and who sometimes leave you like a bit in your shadow, especially those people. Set boundaries with 3 people in your life, whether it's a lover, it's your family, it's your friends, it's your work, it could be anybody. Okay, and also share your experience there. How did you feel? How did you feel to say? It's like, actually, you know, from now on, I've just like actually experienced this class where they've been teaching boundaries. And what it says that I have to look after myself. And I actually understand that in the past, I was saying yes to things that didn't make me feel very well. And from now on, I actually want to take responsibility for myself and how do I feel. So I would like you to know that these are X, Y, and Z area where I'm definitely don't want to take part on. And in X, Y, and Z, I actually feel comfortable sharing myself and explore what is possible. You know, so it's very easy when you put it in a context like that. Okay, you don't have to like create a massive story. You just have to let the person know that you're taking responsibility for your happiness from now on, and you discover the new ways to do that. And you know what? People are very, very supportive. So if you're just gonna give them a heads up, it's like, you know what? From now on, I'm practicing to say my no's to people, because this is not the area that I've been very active on. So if I say no, don't take it personally, but it means that I'm looking after myself. So I would ask you to respect that. Okay? Very simple. Very, very simple. Right. And the final one, be aware of your behavior when you fall out of the will of consent. So once again, just be aware. How do you feel? What do you do? What thoughts are you having? You know, because all of us is like, oh, poor me, I'm a victim here. And as soon as you start complaining, this is where you actually noticing that, you know what, maybe I'm out of my will of consent here. So definitely, definitely, definitely lots for you to notice, lots of you to pay attention to. And really, I would like to invite you to make sure that you can do that, that you are doing that. All right. So now I would like you to share if you have got any questions, and if your homework is clear for you. Right. Okay. So Anya says that it was very powerful. Oh, very wonderful and interesting. See you both next week. Love from Germany, Anya. And Lynette is saying this is broadens on self-discipline. It definitely does. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, ladies, if you do not have any questions, we will complete this call, because I know we went a bit over time again. We have to work on our time boundaries too, and it is quite challenging with having this slight technical issues. But right, at this point, I think it's a good place to complete our call. Yeah. So Sia, you can actually switch on your camera now if you want.
Okay.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay! Beautiful. So, lovely ladies, the Orgasmic Queens, I am honored to be here with you, to share this space with you. Shout out to anywhere you are in the world. Thank you so much for taking a step to be closer to receiving what you really want and taking ownership of your own pleasure, and knowing that you're always in control no matter what, no matter how out of control situation might appear to be. So yeah, make sure you are responsible for your pleasure. Make sure that you take responsibility for your taking, for your serving, for your giving, for your receiving, for your allowing any time, any given time. Is it your life? Is it your pleasure? Is it your work? Just anywhere, okay? You got this. And if you feel like you don't, please reach out. Use the Facebook group. We're here to support you. So actually, the question is, do we put our homework in the Facebook group? Yes, that would be great. You can write a post, you can make a video, you can ask questions, you can share your experience. Just please, 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 this Facebook group is for you and for you to use. We are there to support you. You have access to us that nobody else does have, so we are here to serve you, and we do it out of love, out of our mission, to fulfill our mission to make this world a better place, a place filled with love. And the only way to do that is actually knowing where I am comfortable with and what I'm not comfortable with. And it's like, the more you're comfortable with like saying yes to things and it feels good, the more love we can create. And the more you feel good about saying no and honoring yourself, the more you can actually happiness produce. Right. So Lynette saying, I want your job. Well, learn to honor your yeses and nos. This is really, really, and actually voicing that. And it's not easy. It's not easy. And it takes practice. Really, really takes practice. So, ladies, on this note, we would like to thank you so much for all of your attention, all of your time, all of your love. And thank you so much for being here. Shout out to you who couldn't be on this call today with us live. And of course, shout out to you, to everyone who has made it live session today. Thank you so much, and lots of love from us. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.